Hi, I'm Matthew Craig and you're watching The Market Bull. Joining me online is the Chief Executive Officer of Alchemy Resources, James Wilson. Welcome, James.
Hi, Matthew.
So Alchemy Resources just announced extensive high-grade iron ore hits from drilling at Valley Bore. Take us through these results.
Yeah, sure. So the iron ore asset itself, Valley Bore, sits about 100 k's north of Meekatharra in the smack bang in the middle of Western Australia. Geographically, it sits between Port Hedland and Geraldton ports, and we'd done some rock chips a few years ago, and we managed to get permitting to go and do some drilling on there in the last couple of months. And the drilling focused on this thick outcropping hematite exposures that we had. We already knew it was there because it was sticking out of the ground, and it was marking the first drilling program ever conducted there. So it's a ridge of banded iron, hematite, cherts and sediments, goes to probably 100 kilometres. And in our area, there's very thick concentrations of hematite at surface that we mapped and sampled. So back in 2024, our geos went and did some mapping. So got the rig on the ground, did a 1,000-odd metre program for 16-odd holes. And we were limited by the size of the rig. It's sort of a blast hole rig that's repurposed for RC drilling, so we could only drill down to about 90 metres. But the results are outstanding. They proved that the continuity of the grades on surface kept going at depths. 50 metres at 62.5% Fe from 17 metres, 40 metres at 62.5 that we put out today, and 20 metres at 62.9. So you calcine those up and they go up to about 66% iron. And we had individual grades that went, I think, just over 67%. So we think they're outstanding. And in the realm of iron ore grades, we're pretty happy.
Just what do the latest results tell you about the potential scale of Valley Bore?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, so far the drilling has outlined iron ore mineral. Well, the mapping itself has outlined iron ore mineralisation on surface for about 2 kilometres. So that is there. There's high grades there, and obviously there's sort of structural, things to overcome. You might get folding and it might pinch and swell. However, we've demonstrated that we've got mineralisation for iron ore over a 600 metre strike length with drilling so far, down to about sort of 50 plus metres. So really the limitation of drilling is in that first pass. We'll be back there to do deeper drilling. But as I said, rock chips go 1.5 k's away from that, and they've still got over 60% iron that still need to be tested. So the scale could be much larger than what we've already defined. But it is a first pass, and we're excited by what we see, and we will be back for more.
So Alchemy have locked in an option and JV pathway with existing iron ore producer Newcam. Tell us about this agreement.
Newcam is a private iron ore miner. They operate at another operation up very close to where we are. We spoke to Newcam before we started drilling. They like what they see in the project on the initial rock chips that we did. And we've entered into a binding arrangement. They've got an option agreement for 6 months. They gave us a $500,000 fee for that, and a placement in Alchemy at $250,000 of stock at 2.5 cents. So they really did see the upside in the share price even before we started. The important part about that is that we're free carried to a decision to mine then, and they take care of everything until we actually sort of want to go and put these things on trucks, which is great.
Just lastly, what are the next steps at Valley Bore, and what news flow can investors look forward to in 2026?
Well, obviously we'll look for Newcam to see if they exercise their option. In the meantime, the high-grade mineralisation at Valley Bore is outstanding. It sits on an existing mining lease, and we're just 8 k's from the road. So you could theoretically, if you decide to push the button on this, you could get this thing going pretty fast, we think. So in the meantime, drill results confirm consistent thick mineralised zones. We'll have to go and do infill on that. We'll do metallurgical work, extensions, and really sort of that large and growing footprint's confirmed, and we look to try and open that up now that we've demonstrated that the mineralisation is persistent at depth. So it's a really exciting new area for Alchemy, and it's become a very, very high priority target for us.
Thanks, James, for joining us today on The Market Bull.
Thanks, Matthew.